Good morning, it's Mr. Gutierrez here. I'm going to show you guys how to start drawing with 1-point perspective. So here I have my reference photo, my sketchbook, pencil, eraser, and ruler. So that's what you're going to need. First of all, what we're going to need to do is set up our reference photo. So in order to do that, I'm going to line up the top left corner to the bottom right corner. So one long diagonal, and we're going to draw a straight line from corner to corner. After you have that diagonal, we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So the top right corner to the bottom left corner. Make sure it's lined up pretty evenly. We're going to draw that line. Okay, after you have those two diagonals, you'll see a large X on your paper, and then it should intersect in the middle. Now, since we did that on our reference photo, we're going to do the same thing on our sketchbook or on our piece of paper if you don't have a sketchbook yet. When we're doing this on the sketchbook paper, we should be using a 2H pencil, going very lightly. I'm going to do it with a darker pencil just so you guys could see it a bit better. But we don't want this to be a bold, very dark X. We want it to be a light X that we can barely see, that we're able to erase at the end, because it's not really part of our picture. Okay, so after that, we have an X on our page and an X on our reference photo. So the reason for this is it's going to work as our grid, just so that we can see where things line up. And it's similar to our skeleton drawing. So when we're talking about perspective, we have a horizon line. It's about the eye level of the viewer. So my horizon line here would be probably a little bit above this X mark. So I'm going to draw in that horizon line. And then we also have a vanishing point. A vanishing point is where these parallel lines seem to converge. They seem to intersect. So instead of a vanishing point, we're going to have a vanishing square. And that's just to make it a little bit easier for us, and that's what it looks like on our reference photo. So I'm going to make in bold a square in the middle. And that's where all these lines are vanishing to. So it's a vanishing point. Then we got our horizon line, a straight horizontal line there. And then the reason why we do an X on our paper is to kind of map out where this vanishing point belongs on my page. So if you look at my intersection point here, the vanishing square, it looks like it's lined up on that dot. So what I'm going to do, very lightly with your 2H pencil, and like I said, I'm using a darker pencil. I'm using a 4B just so that you guys can see it better on camera. The verticals, okay, so this left vertical line here, it's just a little bit left from this intersection point. So I'm just going to go a little bit left and up. This right vertical line, it goes out a bit more. So maybe twice as much more as this one. It's probably like right here. And this top horizontal line goes up maybe, this is half here, this is a quarter. Whatever half of a quarter is, that's about how much it goes up. So I'm gonna say it goes up like right here. Okay, so I have my vanishing square. My vanishing square. It should kind of look the same in regards to the X that we made on our reference photo. Now what we can start doing is mapping out these ceiling lines here and here, and our floor lines. And the way we do that is to see where it intersects on the side of the page. So my floor line, it ends about right here. My ceiling line ends right here. Okay? And if we use a ruler for this reference photo, we can check and see if it's the same on both sides. Yes. And yes. Okay, so they're the same on both sides. Check your reference photo because each one's different. If you're using this third floor hallway, then they'll be the same on both sides. So what we're going to do is see where does this mark intersect with my X grid. Okay, so I would say it comes down about halfway. So let me draw my horizon line is right here for the most part. About right here, I would say. So I have this intersection point marked down. Now I gotta worry about this bottom intersection point. And it comes up about a third of the way off the page, so I'm gonna say it's right here. Okay. And then like I said, it's gonna be the same on both sides, so you could just get your ruler for this photo in particular. Check your reference photo, they might be different. And here, mark the edge of your page. And then all we gotta do is connect these marks we made to our four corners of our vanishing square. So I'll show you what that looks like. Make sure it's a nice straight line lined up on the corners. And I'm doing these a little bit darker so that you guys can see it better on camera. Remember to work lightly in case you need to erase. Where's that line at? There. Okay, and you can see here, this would be my floor, these would be my side walls, and this would be my ceiling up here. And you can see it looks like it's kind of creating depth already. Now, after you have these points down, what I would start working on is adding things on the side walls. So in my reference photo, these straight lines here, they create doors. So I'm gonna create these two doors here. On this left side, you can create these little door openings, maybe this poster board here. You can also work on the bottom floor lines. So I'm gonna start with these bottom floor lines, and then I'll get into making the doors, and then I'll work on the ceiling. So to start with the bottom floor tiles, it's all about parallel lines. If you look on the page here, these lines are all going in the same direction with straight lines. So make sure you're using your ruler. I'm gonna mark out first where these lines are intersecting on the bottom of the page, so I know to do that. And this is going to take a while, so just be patient and work through the motions as you go. So I'm going to say right here, right here, 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 and here. And then we can simply start lining up now. Okay, so when we're connecting up here, just be careful that they're all not going to the same point. So we can find our midline. This is our midline. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could split this in half. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I know that it's split up evenly. We can start connecting my lines. And then we can see we kind of have these tiles coming in together. We can start let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to create those tiles, all you gotta do is use our ruler, straight lines. And as they go back further in space, they're gonna get smaller and smaller. So keep that in mind. So, for example, I made this one about 1 inch long. So the next one won't be 1 inch long. It'll be maybe a little less than 1 inch. And the reason why we want these tiles to get smaller and smaller is so that we can create that sense of depth. So this is where it's at. It should be a little bit smaller than that. Let's go here. And you'll start to see as I move further back in space, All right, so I have my floor tiles down, and as you can see, as I'm going back in space, the squares are getting smaller, and it's creating a sense of depth, okay? Next up, we can start working on our doors, okay? So these ones, for example. Now all it is straight lines that are parallel, and then we have a diagonal line. This diagonal line comes out, intersects about right here. Okay. And our doors come in, let's see, about right here to here, and then right here to here. So they're just straight vertical lines. And then this line that we did is going to be the top of our door. Okay, so we have our two doors. We can add these flags if you'd like. Just come down. This one's a little bit like folded, wrinkled. Comes down to about here. Looks like I'm only going to be able to fit one, but that's all right. And then this flag is divided into three colors, three different shades, and there's like a symbol here. And we can go in and color that in with the correct shade later. Not too worried about shading right now. I just want to map down these points. All right, so far I have a decent outline of the right wall. Okay, I have my two doors, my flag. I have a decent outline of my floor. I can start on this left side. What I'm gonna start with is this poster board, this wall right here. So if I take a look, it comes down maybe about a quarter. Right here, and it comes up a little less than halfway. So there's my horizon line, which I have my horizon line marked on my page. So at the same distance, a little less, so about this distance, right there. And it comes out about this distance here. So I'm going to draw a straight line. And then we just got to make our diagonals that go in towards the center. So let's see, where does this go? So just follow this diagonal line with your ruler and it'll tell you where it lines up at. So it's going to line up where the horizon line meets my X. So right here. Boom. And now let's do this top line. It lines up with so there's my corner. A little bit up from my corner. So where's my corner? Here's my corner. A little bit up, about that much. Okay. There's my poster wall. It has a border, so I'm just gonna do a quick outline of that border. And then you can also map down these posters if you'd like. If you want to use your imagination and put something else there, you're more than welcome to. We have this clock here that's pretty significant. It looks like it stands out. It's a good part of our composition. So what I'm going to do is, so it's on our line. It's on our ceiling line. It's just a little bit below our X line. So I think it would be right here. Somewhere right there, okay? And feel free to edit that however you'd like. But so far I have my right wall, my left wall, the floor tiles, and then I can start working on my ceiling tiles, okay? So to do that, I would focus on these straight lines very lightly, because as you notice, there's these light rectangles, these light panels on the ceiling. Those are complete white, so we're gonna have to go back and make sure those are completely white on our page. So to do that, we just gotta draw some straight lines, okay? So straight in the middle, and then see how many lines we have. So this is like the middle line. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I already have this one marked down. I need 2 pretty big ones. So if I look in relation to my X, it's just a little bit above the X. So I'm gonna say it's right here. This one is a little bit over more to the right, so I'm gonna say it's right here. And where did they intersect? Just a little bit to the left of our line that we have here. Boom, 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 boom. Make sure they're the same distance. And then we just have 2 more lines that we got to draw. We need this one here. So it's just a bit up from my ceiling line. It's like this distance. So notice how I'm tracking my measurements. I practice the distance on my reference photo, and then I use this proportion in my mind, this muscle memory, and then I'll do the same thing on my page. Okay? It'll help you get about the same distance, okay? Now same thing here. Here's my ceiling line. It goes up just a little bit. Goes up just a little bit. And the line should be close to parallel to our ceiling line. So it's going to intersect about here. Ceiling line. And then same thing that we did for our floor tiles. We're gonna go in, make these this grid. The squares are shrinking in size as we move down. So let's start off here. We can do 1 inch for starters. Then we'll go down by 2. Then we'll go down by 4. Then we'll go down by 6. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna go down 1 inch, a little less than 1 inch. I'm going to change that to 1/3 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. And then we can do let's see, 2 there. Should be gradually getting smaller, and you'll see as I'm drawing my lines now, they're gonna get smaller. Boom. Boom. Make sure you're not going all the way across your page, you're just going to your ceiling lines, okay? So that doesn't interfere with the rest of your drawing, so you don't have to do a lot of erasing. I'm starting at the ceiling line, ending to the opposite ceiling line. And remember, draw very lightly with your 2H. I'm using a 4B so you guys could see better. I've already said that, but just keep that in mind. Because what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some erasing. First of all, I want this exit sign to be kind of prevalent in my drawing. So I'm going to do that. Erase, and then we can write out the exit. It's a little bit cut off, so it's going to look something like with the E. The X is a bit cut off. The I here, and then the T is cut off also. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. We need to start plotting out where our lights will go, and then I can start shading in. But this is just a quick outline to help you get started. We got my floor panels, my ceiling panels, my right wall, my left wall. I have my horizon line, and then my vanishing square here, okay? Hopefully this helps, and I'll be walking around to show you.